Les, we're pretty much halfway through the close season period now. Obviously, people will see that the pitch here at St Mary's is coming along, the training ground is coming along as well. From a football point of view, could you just explain about how the progress has been made over the last few weeks?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on as normal during the close season. Normally we'd be doing pitch refurbishment, but we've put in a brand new pitch with under-soil heating, so a big project there, but it's coming on great. And a lot of unusual stuff like the training ground coming to fruition, that'll be ready to move into on the 1st of July. So when the players come back, they'll be moving into a completely new environment. I'm sure they're really going to enjoy that. It's a state-of-the-art facility. Means we can do our pre-season training at home, but in a new place, which I think they'll find quite different. Obviously, players coming back from World Cup duty for different countries, so they'll be coming back in a staggered sense, which means, you know, if we stay at home and train in the early days, we're not having players travelling all around the world. We've got some good fixtures lined up. The domestic fixtures were announced last week. Local South Coast fixtures, good for our fans to be able to get to. Good for those clubs because obviously, you know, we're the local Premier League club, so I think the atmosphere at those games will be good, you know, because I think they'll be quite competitive whilst they are pre-season games. They are our near neighbours, so we did that deliberately. And it'll be an opportunity for new players coming in to be seen pretty early if we can get our business done early. And then we've got two marquee fixtures against European clubs, one away from home, one at home, which we're just about finalising the details now, so we'll be able to announce those as well soon. And one of those will be our pre-season game at St Mary's before the Premier League season starts, so the week before, which we're hoping to turn into a bit of a festival, a presentation game where the fans will get the chance to see the new players that we've brought in, and welcome the new manager and any new coaching staff, and hopefully kick off the season with a really upbeat atmosphere at St Mary's.
Plenty going on then. Let's drill down into each of those issues. Let's start with the training ground. How pleasing is it for you to see that this project is coming to its conclusion? You know, you've seen the facilities, how they're developing down there. How glad are you that we're now within touching distance of the players getting to experience that?
Yeah, I mean, all credit to the players and all the staff, you know, that are based at the training ground. For the last couple of years, we've been working out of porter cabins. We've managed through that time, virtually 3 years really, from when demolition started on the old buildings, to continue to develop a very strong academy. The pitches have been fantastic for us, not enough of them. Now we'll double the number of pitches we've got. But to think of the progress we've made in those years, really working on decent surfaces, but porter cabin, portable buildings and so on, just shows you it's all about the staff really, and it's about the work you do. However, add that to state-of-the-art facilities that we move into on the 1st of July, absolutely outstanding surfaces for the players to train on, but also the hydrotherapy centre, the rehab equipment, the gym, all of the stuff that have been housed in temporary accommodation or where we've been traipsing off to swimming pools to do our recovery sessions, all can be done in-house now, and so it's a fantastic platform to build on. That we've had great success, and now we're going to have even better facilities to work in, and it's very impressive. It looks good. I think our new management staff will be very impressed with it. Any new players coming in will be very impressed with it. It really shows the level to where we've come now as our status as a top half Premier League club. So everybody's really looking forward to it, and hopefully it will inspire the players during the pre-season, and we'll get off to a great start.
It just emphasises, doesn't it, how the club is developing season on season. You know, it's an extra level that this club is being taken up with that new facility.
Yeah, it's very hard to progress on all fronts, in a football club, particularly at the very top end. So when you think of where we've come from, and developed a top 8 Premier League football team, but at the same time, a lot of work's been done on the stadium, and an incredible amount of work been done in the training ground. So we've done all those things all together, which is a remarkable achievement for the club. And again, as you say, it shows the status that we've achieved now, and it's very important that we keep building and we keep progressing forward, not only to maintain that status but to enhance it.
And with the pre-season schedule, as you said, it's important to emphasise, isn't it, that we've announced 3 fixtures, but this isn't the finished pre-season schedule. There's still a few things to look out for.
Yes, I mean, we've got, as I said, the 2 European opponents to announce shortly. There'll be very good games for us, one away, one at home, and by that time we should have players recovered from World Cup experiences, and also new targets coming in. We've been targeting players for quite some time. It's a continuous process. The scouting and recruitment department work 24/7 really on collating data, collecting information on players. We're always looking for succession plans and so on. And at this time of the year, we bring that together through discussions with the manager and the other technical staff, refine our target list, and then start work on trying to attract players to the club. So hopefully we'll bring some high quality in, and the fans can look forward to seeing some new faces during those pre-season friendlies as well.
I guess before that though, the priority is obviously a new manager. We're 2 weeks on now, obviously, from the departure of the previous manager. Can you just fill us in on how that last fortnight has gone from you in terms of your search for his replacement?
It's gone pretty quickly. I mean, it's interesting to think that it's only 2 weeks. However, like targeting players and doing our background analysis and due diligence on players that we do on an annual, daily basis, we can continually update our records and our video library and so on. We've always done the same process with regard to managers and coaches. So because we have access to fantastic video footage and data of clubs all around Europe and the world that we collate on a regular basis, gives us an idea of styles of play, the way certain coaches like their teams to be set up. So we've always kept an eye on up and coming coaches, which is how we ended up recruiting Maurizio Pochettino. At the time, people didn't really know much about him. He didn't have a track record, but he was an up and coming coach. That was a result of a lot of hard work and research and diligence based on what he'd done at Espanyol as a coach, in terms of developing young players, bringing players through, overachieving for a club that wasn't particularly well funded. And we've created a culture here now at St Mary's. We call it the Southampton way, and it's about style. It's about entertainment. It's about values. It's about the way we go about things, and that's why the success of the academy has been so prominent, because we are developing players for the future for this club. And we want the fans to come here and be proud of what they see. We want them to be entertained, but we want to win matches. That's the legacy of Marcus Liebert. That was Marcus Liebert's vision from the start, and our job is to make that come to fruition. So we do the same thing with the recruitment of managers. And in Maurizio, we discovered a very talented coach who took this club again to another level. And now we've gone through the same process again to recruit another coach who can take us on. I can't give away any secrets at the moment, but we are closing in now on a preferred candidate. Things are going well, and I'm hoping, because what takes time on these things is the paperwork, but I'm hoping that we can get that sorted very quickly, and the fans will be excited about an announcement coming up sooner rather than later.
Ralph Kruger said certainly in the first 24 or 48 hour period after Maurizio's departure that he was taken aback by the quality of applicant and people who'd expressed their interest in the job. Is that an opinion that you share?
Very much so. I mean, the interesting thing is we weren't whilst we were endeavouring to ensure that Maurizio stayed. There is always the possibility, and at any time during a manager's tenure, that you might part company. So you already have to have a succession plan up your sleeve, which is what we had. So we had possibly 6 to 10 candidates on our ongoing kind of research list, and began probably some time before just updating and making sure we knew the status of those candidates. But of course, when it was actually announced that Maurizio was leaving, we were inundated with enquiries. When this has happened before, if you, for instance, I'll throw a number out there. If you've got 40 inquiries, probably 30 of them would be speculative. But this time, we had the odd one or two crank applicants, which were entertaining, but by and large we were amazed at the level of applicant who wanted to show interest in the job. You get the recommendations from various third parties, from agents, or directly from applicants themselves. You have to work on the integrity of those applicants, because a lot of people do throw names in. But we were, as Ralph said, astounded by the level of applicant that was interested in the job. So in the end, we've whittled it down from managers who've won trophies, won leagues, won European competitions, vast experience playing in the Champions League, in the Europa Cups and so on. International managers. We've had people interested from all the continents, South America, Asia, and we were quite delighted that when we got down to about the final 4, all 4 of those had been on our list originally, and it shows to me the esteem which this club has in the industry. I think that a lot of very, very well-known candidates were excited about the possibility of coming to St Mary's. That would be true to say of also target players that we've shown an interest in. Obviously, we can't reveal names of players that we're interested in publicly, but we know that there are players who are also excited about coming to the club because they see what Southampton is externally. They look at us and they see a club that's grown. It's in the top 8 in the Premier League, which almost makes it in the top 20 in the world. So it's no surprise that people will be excited about coming here. And so yes, we did our very, very best to persuade Maurizio to stay. He has moved on for other reasons. We couldn't have done more in terms of the actual contract and the length of the contract and the commitment of the club to moving forward. It's totally different reasons why he's gone, but there's absolutely no reason why this can't be turned around into a fantastic positive for the club, and get everybody excited again come the 16th of August when we kick off in the Premier League again.
When it comes to the acquisition of new players, what role does the new manager play in that? Because obviously the scouting and recruitment department here, as you said, works hard at these targets and working out who would be a good acquisition for this club. How does it work in terms of when the new manager comes in and his role in doing that?
Well, what normally happens on a regular basis is Paul Mitchell heads up our scouting and recruitment department. It's a big department. Ralph's already alluded to that. We've got people all over the world, particularly in Europe. And it's a 24/7 operation. Games get beamed back from all over the world. They are recorded, clipped, categorised by our analysts. We have a team of 12 analysts who do all this work. So that's a daily basis job, continually building the database and so on, and keeping abreast of players, player movements. A lot of research in terms of data as well as video clipping. That's all collated and the manager can tap into that at any time, as I can, or any of the staff who might be involved in that. And so during the course of a season, we would talk regularly. We have what we call player audit meetings at every level, from the under-8s right through to the first team. And we kind of superimpose potential players who could come in and join us at any transfer window. But at this time of the year, what would happen is we'd narrow all that down to what do we think we need positionally. And the key player in that is the coach. So I've done that exercise with Maurizio. So we are ahead of the game in that. So what are the key positions we want? Where do we need strength in depth? What are the profile of players we're looking for, in order for the coach to develop the style of play and win matches on the field. So the key player in that is always the coach or the manager. We then narrow down our targets, we prioritise them, and then it's my job and my staff and Mitch and our staff to then make inquiries to start the process of trying to recruit players. Now, sometimes your number one drops off the list because he's gone somewhere else, and you then start work on the number two. But the clear message is that nobody leaves and nobody comes without the contribution of the manager. He's the most important person, because players play for the manager. They get selected by the manager. So they want to know who the manager is, before they join us, and they want to know what style of football he likes to play and how they fit in his plans. So he's a key person in terms of attracting the talent. Our job is to make the work easier for him by doing all the background stuff, and making sure that when we've got someone to present to him, we've got all the due diligence done, and we know what's expected if the manager says yes, that's the one I want. So. But he will always have that. He will always have control of the ability to sign or not sign players. He doesn't have to worry about the contracts. He doesn't have to worry about the fees, the money, and so on. We have a budget. Several people contribute to the way that budget is managed, including the manager. But it's not like you give the manager some pocket money and say, now go and buy some players. There's a lot of work in the background that makes it easier for the manager to make those decisions. But key to it is his decision as to whether that's the player he wants, fits the profile, and then it's our job to try and go out and get those players for him.
Obviously, I assume that the same thought process applies with players going out, really. Obviously, it's something this club has had to deal with for 6 months, a year, in terms of speculation about our players departing.
Yeah.
I think it's probably key to reiterate the point that Ralph made last week, that no player goes anywhere without the say-so of our new manager.
Yeah, I mean, Ralph mentioned that we'd had bids and inquiries about our players. Not as many as I thought. When I went on Sky TV and said that it's not our intention to sell any players, that was correct. It wasn't our intention to sell any players. I think the important thing about what I said then was that we'd had no bids for players, and at that point we hadn't. We haven't had as many as I thought may come in following that. We've had inquiries, and we've had some bids. However, from my point of view, there's no way that I was going to make any decisions, or the board were going to make any decisions, without the new manager having the opportunity to assess those players, assess their value to the squad, and the opportunity maybe to talk to them and try and persuade them that this was the place to be. So it's a balancing act. It's keeping the players we've got informed, and trying to persuade them that to be patient, wait and see. That's not always easy when players are publicly when other clubs publicly announce that they're interested in your players. It does destabilise the players a bit. However, it's very important that our new manager has the opportunity to show them what he might do. Also, for them to know who our new manager is, because they won't at the moment. So maybe that will have an effect. But the most important factor in it all is, do they factor into his vision for the future? And the decision to sell or recruit will always be based on on what he thinks is best for the club, and we will only make decisions on the basis of what's right and best for the club. And we will, if we do sell players, it's guaranteed that any revenues we make will be reinvested in the team. So there's a logistical job to be done there, because we do want to bring players in, we do want to improve the team, and that it's important that whatever happens when we do kick off on the 16th of August, we've improved the team and the depth and the strength of the squad by the players that have come in, even if players may have gone out. However, you know, our intention is to keep all of our core players at the club, and I wouldn't want people to think that, you know, I've just opened the door for transfers, because that's not the case. We really want to build this team, but the manager has to have a chance to evaluate that, what the strengths are, how we need to improve it, and whether players that we already have in here will fit into those plans, or whether we need to think about refreshing things.
I guess then that the overall message at this stage of the summer is that work behind the scenes is going on very much. You know, it might be quiet out there at the moment, but there's a lot going on here.
Yeah, I mean, it's, to be fair, I could describe it as frantic. There's so much going on. There's so much work to do, and the World Cup might give us a little bit of a respite. But this always at this time of the year, the back room kicks in. You know, and we don't get the holidays at this time of the year. We need to take those later, because there's so much work to be done. And the fans can be reassured everybody at the club is working their socks off to give us the best possible chance to kick off the Premier League strongly and take the club forward.